As a spiritually awakened women, we go through a lot after a spiritual awakening. There's a process of shedding, there's a process of releasing the darkness and the shadows. And we go through that process to really reach our essence, our divine essence, our soul essence, which is our feminine energy, our desire to be in our divine feminine, on our energy of femininity is deep within. We put these front to feel safe. But in reality, we know that we want to embody our truth, our essence, if we are allowed to. The reason we do not, because of our past struggles, because of what society, what our environment, what our family has taught us, we had to become hardened to protect ourselves. We had to wear masks to protect ourselves. And this video really appeared for you is because now you're ready to embody your feminine energy. You have worked hard. You have tried your best. You've tried your best to please, to help, to heal, to really rise in your light. But you found yourself being continuously feeling rejected, feeling not accepted, feeling not understood. It's because the front was hard. The front was that I'm strong, right? You really owned that mask to feel safe because in your childhood, you were neglected, you were abandoned, you became empath because you had to wear that mask of not focusing on yourself, but focusing on your parents, your family, your loved ones. And you constantly gave and became highly empathic and loving. And as you grew up, as you became spiritually awake, you've gone through really dark spaces. You've gone through a lot of pain. You've gone through this space of experiencing the darkest moments and time, and then you experience awakening, and that's when your spiritual path opened up. That's when you saw that there is other side to who you are, that you are light, there is light within, and all of that recognition required you to really deeply connect to your essence. But the truth is, because you went through hard times, you had to wear a mask. You had to protect yourself because there was nobody to protect you. So you had to learn how to protect yourself. You had to wear this mask of strength, that you're very strong, and you had to be hyper independent. You had to do all the work. You had to provide. You had to give. And you felt like that's the only way to survive. That's the only way. But in reality, that is part of the shadow because this mask is coming from the pain. This idea of that I have to do everything, that I have to work hard, that I have to be hyper independent, I have to give and I cannot expect to receive, that is just the shadow. That is just a mask to protect. So in order to rise in your feminine energy, in order to rise in your essence, you have to let go of the mask so that you can see yourself, so that the world can see your truth, and you are now ready for it. Because you've done all the hard work. You've done all the hard stages of life. You've experienced it. Now it's time to come back to your soul, your essence, as a divine feminine, as a feminine energy who wants to feel loved, who wants to feel that she is the magnet to all the opportunities, all the greatness, all the love and abundance, because that is what your essence is. The feminine energy doesn't chase, feminine energy doesn't hide. The feminine energy owns herself proudly. Feminine energy is the one which delegates, which embodies her truth, which doesn't shy away from her truth. The feminine energy is like a diamond that is so proud of itself. It shines without any apology. It shines and it cannot be hidden, right? That is your feminine essence. That is who you are. And you are now ready to own it because you know that the hustling, the masculine energy, being in the energy of masculine served you in some ways. You've learned to work hard, you learned to wear a mask to protect yourself, but it's time to release the mask. It's time to reclaim your feminine power. It's time to reclaim your identity as a woman, your identity as who you are as a woman. That's when you attract the opportunity. That's when you can walk in your purpose. And I'll tell you that when I was working for investment banking, I worked so hard to prove myself. I worked hard to hide. That's what I was working hard for. I was hiding my essence by pretending to be very strong, to be masculine, to be working hard, to be in that energy of masculinity because I wanted to show that I can do. I wanted to show that I can give more, I can provide. I can do this. It was all masculine energy. It wasn't me. I was operating in that wounded place because I felt the only way for me to cope is to be strong, to work hard, to never show people how I am feeling. So if you see all my pictures back in the days, they are all smiling. You would not be able to tell that I am in depression, I am going through pain, I am suffering, I am feeling empty. You would not be able to tell because every picture I'm just smiling. But actually, I was in deep, dark space. Whilst I was working hard, I was hating. I was hating every minute. It was crushing my soul. But I did not know any other way. Nobody told me. So this is why I am sharing this with you because now you are ready to reclaim. I only reclaimed my power when I decided to embody my truth of being a healer, being able to receive effortlessly. Because being a woman means receiving effortlessly, asking for support without shame, being in the energy of I need help, right? I require help and I delegate and I own my energy and I allow people to work for me. I allow people to help me. I allow people to delegate, to do the work for me. That is the feminine energy. That is reclaiming your power. Because as a woman, you can be a leader without being in your masculine energy. What women have been told, the lie that women have been fed is that they have to be in masculine energy. They have to work hard. They have to work like a man in order to lead, in order to be entrepreneur, in order to be a CEO. They have to be working hard. They have to be hustling. They have to be working 18 hours. Not true. As a woman, your cycle, your hormonal cycle is 28 days. Men have 24 hours hormonal cycle. That's why a man can work hard during the day and then go home and sleep, and the next day he is energized. But women, we don't feel like that. We have 28 days cycle. We have to rest. We do not feel the same way every single day. We get drained, we get exhausted because our hormonal cycle is very different to masculine cycle. And the 9 to 5 system or the working system is built on men because back in the day, men used to work and this whole system was built on masculinity, masculine energy. So when women try to fit into that paradigm, that structure, that system, they drain, they are exhausted, they are burnt out because that is not built for women. So in order for you to reclaim your feminine power, you recognizing and allowing yourself to rest. You recognizing that rest is part of your soul work. Rest is part of your leadership. Rest is part of you being in your essence. That is part of it. By you resting and relaxing, you are making money because when you energize by resting, you think through your intuition, you walk through your intuition, and that becomes effortless because you don't have to take consistent action, you have to take aligned action, intuitive action, the action that are moving the needle. That is reclaiming your feminine power. So, as a woman, we have to be in alignment with our soul essence. We are releasing and sharing all these conditioning that were told for us to work hard, for us to operate from the place of darkness and pain. We are now reclaiming to embody our truth, to build from our essence, to become wealthy and successful from our essence. That is our true power. That is where we shine. So if you feel ashamed by resting, if you feel like if you're not working hard, you are lazy, then that is not the truth. You as a woman need to rest. You as a woman need to take breaks. And that is your divinity. That is your essence. And that is who you are. So what I want you to really know, in order to reclaim your feminine power, recognize the essence. Recognize that if you are shedding your past, it is time to embody your truth. It is time to own your truth. It's time to heal the shadows. It's time to reclaim your power for freedom, fulfillment, for ease, for effortless attraction, for alignment, for activation of your wealth frequency. All of that is part of you reclaiming your feminine leadership, feminine essence. That is part of you recalibrating with your essence. That's who you are. So this is your sign for you to reclaim your truth, your essence, your divine feminine, to own your light as a woman, to embody your truth, and to really know that what has happened in the past that was preparing you to come in alignment with your soul essence, so that you rise as a warrior, as a goddess, as a woman of power, as a woman who is in alignment with her essence, because that is your truth. That's when you attract love. That's when you attract abundance. That's when you attract success. That's when you walk the path of purpose. With that, if you would like to really embody your truth, reclaim your power, then I am looking for 5 women who are awakened, who are ready to master their feminine energy, who are ready to master their energetic field, to be in alignment, to walk their purpose, to build a brand around their feminine energy. If that something is interesting, if you are ready to break through to achieve the freedom and fulfillment, then click the link below to apply for the mentoring. With that, like this video if you like this video, and subscribe to my channel. And may the light in me reaches the light in you.